Hi everybody! I've had several requests wanting me to take a look at Bill Gates, and I'm gonna do that here today. Take a look at his energetic expression, his energetic identity. So people are wanting to know if Bill Gates has good intentions or questionable intentions. What does his heart look like? So for me to do a journey into his energy field, I'm already interconnected with every single person on the planet. So I'm already a part of Bill Gates, as you are a part of Bill Gates, as Bill Gates is also a part of me. So for me to take a look at whether or not Bill Gates is a trustworthy person, is an honest person, is perfectly open. The whole universe is perfectly an open closet. Only human beings want to be closed up and private and secretive. And now we are untrustworthy. We're liars. We're taking advantage of other people. We're greedy. We only care about ourselves, right? So is Bill Gates one of these types of people? How are we going to know just by looking at him with our mind? We need to take a look at him with a deeper part of ourself, our senses, right? So Bill Gates is just another part of myself. Just like you are just another part of myself. We're all come from the same energy. We all come from the same place. So I'm just as much Bill Gates as Bill Gates is Bill Gates. I'm just only in this human body aware of myself, but I'm also interconnected with literally everybody. So I'm just making this little introduction because people really have questions about this. I'm relaxing right now. All right, here we go. There's a door, and the door, I can open it to go in, but the door also opens to come into my world. So I just break down the wall, and I say there's no separation here. There's so much information, it's sort of like energetically, it's just like all these energetic thoughts going through. Lots and lots and lots and lots of energetic thoughts. It's hard to know how to navigate them all. It's about identity. Has a lot to do with identity. This is a hard time for Bill Gates. Really hard time. Did you know that this is a hard time for him? His heart is really oversized and heavy, and it keeps sinking down, down, down like a really big stone, big heavy stone. I mean, it's sinking down into his stomach. It's a really awful feeling. You ever feel like you got a rock in your stomach and it's really uncomfortable in there? That's what he's going through. And it's about identity. There's a lot of harsh critics. It's whipping and lashing him. It hurts. He's not getting angry, which surprises me. He's shifting his focus to a computer screen. The reason that surprises me is because of how difficult this time is. He could really feel frustrated with people, frustrated with the media, frustrated with this analysis of himself. But he is choosing to not go there, choosing to shift his attention to something else. So he's looking at a computer screen. And I feel strongly that him actually working through these emotions would be healthy. Like, really just feel it and feel angry if you need to feel angry, you know? It's hard to be criticized. It's hard to just be anybody on this planet, let alone somebody who everybody knows. Everybody knows you. Everybody has an opinion. I will tell you right now, I'm not running into anything twisted here about Bill Gates at this time, but I am running into what is very human about him and the challenge of being human. I'm actually helping his heart because it's really hard for him right now. I mean, his heart is so heavy. He needs new material to work with, that's for sure. He's kind of reached what could be like a massive intermission in his creative ability. Maybe that seems strange, but I can see an image of him reaching kind of like a line, and then there's this open void, and it's pure white. But he's not interacting with it and filling it with ideas. But he is really thinking hard about himself and his identity. I feel like he could be on the cusp of some big new life changes, like decision making. That is a new approach to his own self-expression. This painful time could give way to something very bright. And it could be good for everybody. Because when you're somebody like Bill Gates, you can make a difference in everybody's life across the globe, you know? How many people am I reaching? I'm trying to make a difference. How many people am I reaching? Now, how many people can Bill Gates reach? You see the importance here of support and love and reaching their hearts, like Bill Gates and Donald Trump. If we can help them to heal what they're going through inside, it can inspire decisions that will help literally the whole planet. The whole planet. So instead of sitting there and getting lost in our bitterness and anger and question marks, we could step back and say, he's a human being just like me. What can I do to support another human being that's going through the same stuff I'm going through, just different relationships with different inner identities and outer expressions, okay? We all have it hard here. To continue to send love, unconditional love, is support. It's like Jesus. And Jesus doesn't judge you. Jesus doesn't judge anybody. Jesus does not judge anybody. And we can do that too. Instead of looking at the outside with our mind, we can actually reach people on the inside with our hearts and help them. Help them instead of persecute them. All right, this is really tough because I'm supposed to do some energy work here to help his heart and his throat, which is about communication, self-expression. I keep seeing him, he's on the cusp of some big change in himself, in his life, in his direction, okay? But there is a bit of a gap there because a lot of his thoughts are circulating back into himself. Instead of standing at this newness and putting ideas into it in order to manifest, he's just circulating them back inside of himself. Everything about Bill Gates' life right now is perfect, and it's beautiful, and it's great. So if you feel inspired to persecute him, then it's everything his soul needs in order to manifest whatever this change is inside of himself. But remember, it's really hard to be him right now, okay? Let's send the unconditional love. Okay. The more love I put into him, I start to see a layer of himself ripping off and exposing what is this black, it's kind of like this burnt expression. It's creepy because it's a skeleton that has gone black. Okay, it looks creepy. It's like watching somebody's face peel away, and then underneath is this like scary looking black skeleton being, okay? So, unconditional love. Jesus loves the scary black skeleton beings, okay? Unconditional love. All right, he's in a fight inside of himself. The angelic and the dark sides are clashing. There is two pathways here. One pathway could definitely lead him back into his angelic nature and back into supporting the human race. He's actually leaning in that direction, okay? But this is about control. This is about power. This black skeleton being is about these egotistical natures. Did we create those within him and he became vulnerable to it because he's Bill Gates? Like, we don't know how we impact each other, and we mold and shape each other into what is the lessons for everybody. All right, so I see this. I mean, this dark being, this black skeleton being, does not care about me. Does not care about you. Doesn't care about anybody. Just let me touch his heart, okay? Let me touch his third eye. Because there is a child that is crying inside of this monster, right? Okay, there's a lot of darkness coming up now behind this. And I'm talking like thousands and thousands and thousands of dark spirits. And it's they're all screaming the same tone, the same frequency. They're all screaming at the same time. But it's in anger, it's in hate. And it's not at Bill Gates, it's at me. And I'm just going to continue to touch his heart and touch his third eye, okay? He's using this to protect himself and the insecurities that he has inside of himself. So he can work with this power in order to shield him from insecurities, okay? He has a lot of insecurities. This makes me really sad because these insecurities could have been mended a long time ago, but instead they got mended with money and success. So it didn't really mend them. This is a really, really hard time for him. He's being exposed. All the love in this world is going to expose these dark parts, okay? But we can't persecute him. We have to find another way, because what the human race has to stop doing is persecuting each other. I get persecuted, you get persecuted, we all get persecuted. Some of us are doing really extremely bad things, and some of us are just trying to make a message here, you know? Persecuted, judged. As soon as the human race can just stop all of that, and we can start looking at each other as an opportunity of love and support, the whole world will change. The whole world. And everybody in this world will heal. We need to see everybody as beautiful. Okay? Okay. This is getting really dark. He has this like ripping, this need to rip apart the love, okay? Because this is coming from the insecurities. The insecurities then used money and power in order to mend themselves. Doesn't mend themselves, it grows them into kind of something twisted, right? Because you need love to mend that stuff, not wealth. So now that love is finally reaching this inner vulnerability, it's really hard to process it. And all the scrutiny and all this negativity is also part of the collective screaming at him to work through this. Please work through this. But we're screaming at him. We're not... I guess that's our way right now, okay? That's what we do. It is heard. His heart is falling into his stomach. He is going through a major identity shift. It's working, okay? His dark side, I'm showing him two paths. One path is literally interesting because one path kind of veers, it kind of curves the opposite direction and then veers out that way. But then the angelic side takes a curvature inward, like a really tight curve inward. Like if you're getting on another like interstate and then you have to do the really tight curve, that's the angelic path, all right? So I'm talking to him about the paths. He just can't let the love in, because if he lets the love in, then he has to feel shame for some of the choices that he's made that were not working with love. And now he has to work with forgiveness of himself, judgment of himself, shame, embarrassment. It's easier to hold on to not saying you did something wrong. because you can manipulate people into believing that you've always been in the right. And the human race, we're into that. Whereas if you were to stand and say, you know what, I made a mistake, the human race will throw rotten tomatoes at you and probably kill you for admitting you were wrong. So it's easier for him to stay strong in the dark side of himself. Because as a human race, you know we do this. It's so wrong. We do this. I tell him that there's people like me out there that will actually respect the living daylights out of you for doing the hardest thing possible. And don't worry about all those tomato throwers. They want lies. They don't want the truth. There's some of us who really respect you for being truly yourself, for admitting your choices. He's got some superficial choices that really promote him on a very bright level, but he has some deeper, darker ones. Okay? This all comes back to insecurities that were nurtured with money and power. And that's where this came from. Still working through this right now. Still working on helping his heart to get brighter in his throat and his third eye. There's guides here that are talking to me about... there's love that is working with Bill Gates, supporting him through this time and giving him new ideas to work with. It's not necessarily about him coming out and saying, I did this or I did that. It's about him coming out and saying, I have some new ideas that is going to help people. And those new ideas that help people actually do make a massive difference. And he will be remembered for the massive difference that he made. And that's more important in the end than anything else. And it will give him the power to love himself again. And that's what his guides are telling me. And they're also telling that to Bill Gates too. Because he's a bright spark in the universe. We all are. And he came here with special gifts and talents in order to change the world. He has changed the world. Let's be real here. He's made a huge impact on the whole world. He can continue to make a huge impact. A totally new self-expression, new identity, new approach. He's working on getting there. Let's be patient with him. Our messages are reaching him. Let's be patient with him. He is getting there, okay? It may see some things in the next couple years. That's why I mean, just be patient. It could be sooner than that, but there's real love reaching him and inspiring him, and he's molding and shaping in a new way. I really do see Bill Gates finding a way to get onto that angelic pathway. There's a lot more of his energy leaning in that direction. We had to continue to love and support him, okay? So he's awakening just like the rest of us, awakening to himself and the choices that has created the world that we live in. Man, his throat and his heart are so heavy. I've almost gotten him to shift here, okay? Because he really needs to let this love in. And all those souls, I don't know what that's about, but the screaming is stopping and subsiding, and it's just him. And he's in a state of personal persecution here, where I saw him kind of just wanting to shift his direction back to like a computer screen. In this deeper place, he is persecuting himself right now. I hold his hand and I tell him, you don't have to. Put your energy into manifesting something that's going to heal the whole world. Don't worry about the past, because let's move on from it already. Let's start with some fresh ideas. It'll change everything. It'll even help you to embrace yourself in a loving way. Man, my heart is so heavy into my stomach still from this. My third eye, my throat's getting a little lighter, third eye's getting heavier. I'm giving him a hug. He's still a black skeleton, okay? I ask him what he thinks about all this so far. Say you have all the money. It's almost like he's telling me that certain decisions, it's not just about him, it's about other people that are involved in those decisions along with him. So for him to make a choice, there's other people involved here, you know? And I say, you have all the money. In this world, the more money you have, the more power you have. You can make any decision you want. He really feels kind of like his hands are tied a little bit. Kind of like there's other black skeletons with insecurities that are on the same team, and they might not like if he changes into his angelic self because that'll expose them too, kind of thing. So he's sort of uncertain about this. I tell him, you make the right choice here, the one that comes from your heart, and don't worry about anybody else. The whole world is counting on you. You had the power to make a big difference where a lot of us, we try to make a difference and our voices are muffled out by the sheer volume of people. There's a huge release popping out of the face, third eye, throat, heart, solar plexus primarily. It's just a big, black, chunky, gross thing, which is just old energy junk. His guides and myself, the inspiration is asking him to take a nice long vacation away and just turn off the gadgets, the phones, just walk away from reality for like 3 months. And just go to a place that is completely just yours, your space, just for you, for like 3 months, and just find yourself. Find yourself. You don't have to be in the middle of all this. Find yourself. Because for him to do that, it's going to rehabilitate him, help him find a new stance, and when he returns, he's going to return with new identity, new persona. So again, he has multiple identities, just so you know. So there's another one now coming forward. Also, it's really even darker than the last one, okay? He doesn't want him to heal. That darker persona doesn't. So it encourages him to just keep moving forward just like this. Keep doing the same thing kind of thing. This darker persona is not wanting him to heal, because when I send him images of, get away, take a vacation just for you. Don't take the gadgets. Just be alone. But just be you for a little while. Just you, okay? And I show him how healthy and how bright that experience is going to be for him. And this darker aspect is like relentlessly not wanting him to heal. But it's just fear. That's all it is. Like, this darker aspect is afraid of love. Again, insecurities that aren't nurtured the right way. This is a much darker force here. Much darker. I literally am just touching his energy field Internal battle, that's what's going on here. He's going through a lot right now, okay? We all have dark sides of ourselves. Our dark sides don't want us to heal. We all have this going on at just different volumes, okay? So just... It's pretty flippin' dark. What I'm going to do is plant a bunch of seeds of light in that energy. And these seeds of light are pure source, seeds from pure source. Just to plant seeds of pure love and the strength to have a different energetic flow. To create more neutrality in this extreme pain is what it is, extreme pain. This could be a buildup from many lifetimes that's finally able to get looked at in this lifetime. Based on everything that has happened for Bill Gates, now he's finally able to access that part of himself through everything, okay? So just planting lots of seeds of light in here. And a seed of light within his third eye. He really needs some new illumination, new ideas. He's got so many. It's just been kind of blocked off. I mean, the guy could really create some exciting new things. Like, really take off in a new way. You just got to clear these blocks and get through this identity shift. I will say he's feeling a lot brighter. His heart is not as sunk. It's not as oversized. A big heart you would think is like, oh, I got a lot of love to share, but this is bloated, okay? This is a very not balanced. This is like a stone, you know? Just bloated up and then sunk like a stone into the abyss of the stomach, the emotional guts, okay? All right. Thank you all for watching. I hope this message gives you new feelings about Bill Gates. Send him love, okay? Let's help him through this time. Let's support a man that has the power to make a huge difference for all of us. We all make choices. We're all on a pathway of learning. We have to not persecute people. Sometimes we need to get the message out there that we agree or disagree. We're working with the mind a lot, so we don't really know about people. If we could work with our heart and our psychic ability, we'd actually know what's going on inside of other people and have a different relationship with their meaning in our life. And that's why the media is a very big distraction from psychic development. Because we're just looking for more fuel for the ego, more drama, more extreme news, you know? It's just more noise, really. And then we don't really know what's going on. What is the actual truth? We got to find it inside of our heart, and we need to go develop psychic gifts so we can actually get to know the people around us. A lot of us are afraid to speak out, you know? Robin Williams, who would have thought that he was so depressed and suicidal, you know? If somebody could have gone out to give him a hug, that could have changed things. Michael Jackson could have changed things, you know? Instead of just looking at the media, we need to know who these people really are. It's important. Change the whole world. And we need to love. We need to use unconditional love like Jesus would do, right? Okay. Thank you all for watching. If any of you are interested in exploring a psychic session with me, please visit me at my website at abbeynormalswisdomquest.com. Okay, have a great day, everybody.